that I think most people can look at it and see that the Prime Minister is making things up.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Now to the Labor Party in Australia, which has been pinged for spreading misinformation. And this is pretty funny to me because this is the party which wants to enforce strict misinformation laws on you.
To make sure that misinformation isn't got out.
But doesn't want politicians to be held to the same standard.
That's just part of the job. But that's a good thing, that people can see the misinformation. And I don't want to see that diminished. I think overwhelmingly Australians want misinformation and disinformation to stop. And I sincerely hope that in Australia that can continue.
Anthony Albanese pinged for spreading misinformation on social media with misleading cost of living claims.
That's my style. I hope you've noticed that.
While Australians are doing it tough, battling inflation and insane mortgage repayments, our Prime Minister thought it was a smart idea to brag on social media about his government. He published a picture of a CD album cover, spruiking his cost of living relief actions, and there was a backlash. Ex-users fact-checked the PM and found that most of the policies he claimed that were winter cost of living relief measures hadn't even started yet. Albanese continued his horror week with a tough interview from Pete Stefanovic, who pointed out on live television that homeowners would not get interest rate relief in part because Labor had a spending issue.
If you were just to distribute additional cash to people, you potentially make inflation worse.
Are Australians facing higher rates for longer because of big spending federal and state budgets?
Well, that's not what they've said, Peter, with respect. And the truth is...
Well, this is the quote here from the RBA. Public demand is forecast to be stronger than previously expected, reflecting recent public spending announcements by federal and state governments. Are you saying they're wrong?
Yeah, that's very different. That's very different from the way that you characterised it, Peter. We've made sure fiscal policy, budget policy works arm in arm with monetary policy.
Well, that's not working at all because the RBA and Treasury are brawling at the moment.
That's not true, Peter.
Well, you're saying completely different things.
We agreed that inflation... No, we're not. No, we're not.
Anthony Albanese is, as a Prime Minister, he's weak. He's also a sook, by the way, big sook. Something goes wrong, he goes, oh, call mummy. That's how he works.
My mother dreamt of a better life for me, and I hope that my journey in life inspires Australians to
cause division, and in this case, to promote misinformation.
This interview that Pete Stefanovic had with Albanese, he's pushed on this tension point that they have with the RBA. And we know there was a tension point because the RBA said one of the factors was stronger government spending. And then in the inquiry, it was repeated again that government spending across multiple levels was a factor. How dare this bloke stand here and say that that is a false characterisation on live television?
I know. Well, it's just an out-and-out lie, isn't it? And the great problem that Albanese and the Treasurer Jim Chalmers have is that...
We've had enough of Labor.
Enough is enough.
But for the Prime Minister to then brag about measures that haven't even come into place yet and lie to Pete Stefanovic. I mean, a CD...
And get fact-checked.
A CD is about as useful as the measures that he's touting on that cover there, because who's got a CD player anymore? Like, the symbolism of that alone was like, what are you paying these people for?
Bunch of boomer media advisors that are reminiscing. Yeah, really bad.
This isn't about freedom of expression. This is about the dangerous implications that can occur when things that are simply not true, that everyone knows is not true, are replicated and weaponised.
And he kind of looks like a hypocrite.
My word is my bond, but I had my fingers crossed.
Oh, call mummy. That's how he works. Maybe not call mummy, but he runs off to the school.
Let's not get in more trouble this week, Barnaby. It's been a tough week. Let's not do that.
I know.